Hi, Daniel Hayes here. Today I'm going to talk about my first ever listing, quite an interesting story. It was a Monday. I started employment on a Monday, just finished my agent's rep. I'd been dropping for about a month prior, before they'd actually let me start, because I just thought I should, I was that excited and that enthused about real estate. And that was on a Monday. I started with another guy who's about my age, but he'd been in real estate about 4 years. He was like the expert, and he'd be sitting there listening to his motivational DVDs, and he had all the scripts and dialogues. I didn't even know what the hell they were. He sort of, was, he knew everything, and in my eyes he was God. I should listen to this guy. He's really good. On the Monday when I drove home, I noticed a for sale by owner just near where I lived. I told this guy, this sort of mentor guy who started at the same time as me, he said, don't worry about it, they're all a waste of time. Tuesday I drove past it again on the way home. My heart flooded. I thought, God, maybe I should just knock on this door and try and get the business. And on the Wednesday, I sat outside her home, and I thought, I could door knock her. She's probably going to tell me to piss off. I'm just going to get rejected, going to get kicked in the guts. And I just thought, I'm just going to door knock it anyway. I've got nothing to lose. I don't have any listings. And I door knocked it, and I was that nervous, and it was like someone, I was that off my brain. I think the first 90 seconds I told her that I'm not here to preach Jesus. I'm not a Mormon. I just told her that I was, really wanted to sell a home, wanted to have a crack at it. I've lived in Belmont my whole life, and no one knows it better than me. I went to school just around the corner. I lived around the corner, and I just rattled it off. She couldn't even get a word in. And she invited me in, and I think she liked me. She liked my enthusiasm. And we sat down at a table, and we talked, and I talked about Belmont. I talked about the suburb. It's where I lived. It's where I grew up, and I could tell she liked me. I got a bit carried away. I was speaking so fast that I remember seeing bubbles of spit were actually on the table, and we had a moment where she looked at the bubbles of spit, and I looked at the bubbles of spit, and it was just really, just very weird. And it was sort of, I wouldn't call it a listing presentation. I would just call it just this energy in the room of I didn't sell anything. What happened was she liked me, and I think anyone knows, any good lister knows that if they like you, they're going to go with you. It's that simple. But the question came. She said, so Danny, how long have you been in real estate? And, and a silence came over. And I said, I've been in it 3 days. And it went really quiet, and then we both looked at each other and started laughing our heads off, which I think is really weird, to be honest. I can't see that happening in a listing presentation today. But anyway, I didn't win the business. She said she had a buyer on it. She rang me the next morning. She said she'd get back to me, and she said, look, Danny, just to let you know, I've actually sold it with someone that I showed through myself. But she said, look, I really wish you well. I think you're going to be a great real estate agent. And it was like someone had stuck a knife into my heart and just sort of reached it up. And it went all quiet on the phone. And then she said, Danny, I just want to let you know, I'm just joking. I haven't sold it. And she said, I'd love you to sell my home. So she sort of played a bit of a gag on me, and I went around there and signed it up. And I advertised it the following Saturday, and I sold it $5,000 over the full asking price. She was trying to sell it herself. Taking out my commission and fees, I think she made an extra $7,000. I made a friend for life. I've sold all of Julie's property. I haven't spoken to her for about 2 or 3 years now because she moved to Tasmania. But the people that I sold that house to actually sold it again for the purchaser. And so the web of my business grew when I was a rookie sales agent. So, I don't know what the moral of the story is, but the moral of the story is, I think, just because someone's experienced it really doesn't mean a whole lot. I think you've got to have ticker, you've got to have heart, and you've really got to go for it. And, nothing wrong with being trained or training videos, but sometimes you got to take the earphones out and go do it. You know what I mean? Action is the magic word in real estate. It sure is. That's the blog for today.